Welcome to Buddies and Banter, the Uncensored Podcast, where our topics are raw, our opinions are strong, and our filters are definitely off.
Nasty. They're nasty, too.
They can
And
be.
I'm sure they're going to be off. The filters will be off today.
Well, definitely so. Well, folks, as you can see, we have different drinks today because we are doing a brunch episode. You know, and
Cheers.
Cheers.
We'll see if this comes out good. I'm excited. I feel fresh. I feel excited and relaxed. I almost died twice getting here, but that's another story, I guess.
Well, I assume you
Is
took
this a
a shower
pre-mix
this morning.
on Green Day?
Is it? I went and saw Green Day last night in concert.
Is
with
that a
Smashing
pre-mix
Pumpkins.
you just put on there?
Yeah, it's
So
a
I
pre-
don't. Okay,
yeah.
I want to make sure you don't
Yeah.
get restricted on YouTube.
Yeah, we should be okay.
Yeah.
But it was at Globe Life Stadium,
Oh, in Arlington.
completely packed.
Oh, well, Green Day, of course.
Packed.
Interesting enough, Jennifer and I saw them and Weezer and all them as a whole 4 or 5 groups.
Yeah.
About 2 or 3 years ago too, in that same stadium.
I know. Yeah, it was in the old stadium, right? With
Yeah.
Fall Out Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That
it
was
was
a huge show.
6 hours. I looked at Jennifer and was like, I am exhausted.
Yeah.
Because we obviously got there early and started drinking. I was like, I got to stop drinking so I can drive home.
Yeah. I'm glad it was inside, so now it's covered. You know,
Yeah,
so that
totally,
would've
totally.
been- So I missed Creed, but Creed's coming back in November.
Oh, cool.
Well, yeah, because
I was
didn't they
missing
just say they were back to go on tour now?
Yeah, so they're back on tour. So they were at Dos Equis, whatever, Fair Park. Or
Nice.
The outdoors.
Yeah, that would have been outdoors. But last night would have been perfect.
Yeah, it was actually nicer last night than it was the night before because the humidity came back on the night before,
Right.
which you never got the rain anyways. But
Yep. But I think we're here for a special occasion, right? Because, I mean, with the debate that just happened a couple days ago.
Well, yeah, I
think
mean,
that's something we're
obviously
gonna
the
dive into.
debate, we're definitely going to dig deep into it, but also we're here early since we, this weekend, we will be in Vegas.
Woohoo!
You know, we actually, Alex takes a red eye tonight. Michael and I are heading out tomorrow morning bright and early, which I'll be sleeping the entire time. And unfortunately, Kara won't be with us.
No, I got my kids.
But
Now, what
that's
time
okay.
do you land?
7
a.m.?
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm glad I'll already be.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
then I'll already have a room for tonight. So then you can just come there if you want and at least have a place to
Well,
put
we
your
want to
shit.
double check because the resort that we're staying at, sometimes they actually have rooms available already if they're.
Oh, right.
And so we'll check there, and they also will secure our luggage.
Yeah.
So and that way we don't have to haul it back out again, you know. And then we'll meet you somewhere.
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah, because I probably will already start be drinking.
Because Jennifer gets there, around 8?
Yeah, she gets there just like 40 minutes after us.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, so we're all kind of there at the same time.
Yeah.
which is good. At first, we thought we were going to be there like at 10 or 11 o'clock, and so I mean, we were able to get an earlier flight. But yes, the debate. Obviously, we were about 48 hours, well, actually 36 hours since the debate actually took place, and you know,
Do you call that a debate?
well, I mean, it was supposed to be.
It was a massacre.
It was well, you know,
Listen,
it was kind of interesting because I'm seeing a
massacre.
lot of the posts out there, especially on threads on the left side. Since although and we'll talk about the algorithm here in a little bit. Everybody's saying that she aborted a 78-year-old baby. So, hence, we need to keep it legal. So I mean, it's just
He got spanked.
He did get spanked, and it's so
And not in a good way.
not in a good way, and she really got under him, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the
Under
spots.
him?
Well, under
Inside of him.
Well, yeah.
Inside of him.
Well, he got out of her. Let's just say
Inside?
that.
Inside of him.
And I'm kind of glad that we waited, 36 hours beforehand. Because if we had done it less than 12 hours, I wouldn't be able to delve in more. And trust me, I've been debating with many people online.
I bet so.
Which I will call them an uneducated, unresearched idiots, because that's exactly what they are.
Please don't hold back your thoughts.
I will not. I mean, and trust me, I had no sleep last night because I spent all overnight arguing with people online, just simply because they don't know how to research. They
How
don't
do
know
you
how to
feel
look at
about that?
facts.
They're not going to.
Well, and it's just like that. I mean, I know this is going to sound like a Marxist. They shouldn't have access to fucking social media then. I mean, they don't know what the hell they're doing. But what I will
Rick
say,
for president. You're going to need a license for social media.
no. You just need to pass an IQ test.
Then nobody would be on it. Even
No.
Trump.
Well, that would be a good thing. Let's be honest, But I will say this about the social media, the feeds, we can talk about Twitter, which is basically just right extremists and racism nowadays, with Elon owning it. But also even on Threads and some other things, including, even Instagram. I've noticed that suddenly the algorithm has changed a bit. Prior to the debate and prior to me posting things about my support for Kamala and what have you, I had kind of an even, split between both sides, which was good because we could kind of argue on either side. Now I'm all of a sudden seeing an extreme amount on the extreme right side. So clearly Zuckerberg, who's scared shitless, obviously, of Trump if he gets into office, simply because he's afraid to go to, censored or go to jail, whatever it is, since he's admitted supposedly that he was censored by the Biden administration, has changed the algorithm a bit. Now, of course, whether he knows it or not, or whether he cares, I've obviously called his ass out on it as well, by his little post, by his little tagline. You're really altering this, and you're really kind of censoring pro-Kamala posts, and it's kind of crazy. But Michael, let's dive. I don't think you guys watched the debate, did you?
So I watched a recap.
Good.
So I did. The dog thing is very interesting. Kara also brought up an interesting comment because she had said, and Kara, you'll have to help me because my brain doesn't do politics as well as y'all's. The moderator had said that it wasn't true, the issue, but you also said that was a lie.
Well, there's people going around saying, that they live there and it is happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
and those
they're
individuals
saying that it's the official city manager, or whoever it was, excuse me, is saying that it's not true.
Well,
the
city manager is, but also the police department for Springfield, Ohio is. And this morning, of course, the governor came out and said, yeah, it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. But to clarify where this story started from, it started from Facebook. Go figure. Because that's the gospel of news and facts. There was a woman who ended up taking a pet and eating it 100 miles away from Springfield, first of all, in Ohio. She was American citizen and she was on meth. So that story is what catapulted this whole bullshit about it.
Or I call page 2 of the article.
Or page 6.
Page 6, yeah.
And what is really wrong about this is it's targeted against the Haitian immigrant community in Ohio, which, by the way, folks, Ohio asked them to migrate there because their population in certain cities was actually decreasing and they wanted to boost the economy. These people were welcomed into the actual community. Business owners, manufacturing facilities are like praising the Haitians and how hardworking they were and said they actually show up for work. Mm-hmm. And how we are sitting here putting targets on their back simply for political gain. The Republican vice president candidate, went out there and he said it, and then he got called on it, and he said, well, it may not be true, but we should still be putting that information out there. If you haven't fact checked it and you haven't actually done any follow up on it, you don't want to be out there putting it. And then doubling down or tripling down, however you want to put it, old Cheeto guy decides that after Kamala got under his skin, that he's going to go there. Immigration, and started talking about how they're eating their pets in Ohio, and I swear to God, I thought he was rabid. Mm-hmm. He was salivating at the mouth just simply because he had to get that out. And it was just like, I think the classic, and if you didn't watch it, you've got to watch the entire debate because it wasn't just what each of the candidates said, it's the actual body language of Kamala. Mm-hmm. That, she is definitely a prosecutor.
She looked at him and just went like this.
Well, during the dog one, she just turns around, she's just laughing. She goes, no, it's not. And she said it, but you couldn't because her mic was muted. Yeah. But you knew. If you read lips, you can see exactly what she's saying. And she called him on it. She said, well, this is just crazy. And that's exactly what it is. It's things like that I think are a disservice, not only for this election, but to this country. It is also a horrible thing to put a target on a welcomed and asked for immigrant community, and he doesn't think things through. Obviously, J.D. Vance as well. In the state of the largest Haitian community in the country happens to be in Florida. So go ahead and put a target on them because you're already a little razor thin there when in regards to the popular vote winning there. So, I mean, if you actually have these, 500,000 to 600,000 individuals who predominantly have always voted conservatively, now you put a target on the back, they're probably not going to vote for you.
Right.
Let's be honest about it. It's the same thing about saying, hey, let Putin do whatever he wants, go for Ukraine, next go to Poland. It's like the 800,000 Polish Americans in Pennsylvania. Go ahead, piss him off. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really think before he talks naturally. We know this.
But he's been that way all the time. Most of the people, he doesn't get fact-checked very little.
Well, and that's the interesting thing.
And it's like, even if the people that do it, it's like then he's on to the next thing or whatever. So you're so far behind.
But to the fact checking point, he was actually impressively fact checked by Lindsay and David Mueller.
Three times?
Well, 3 times. There was a little bit other areas where he wasn't even allowed to continue on with his topic. But I will also say that about Kamala too. They cut her off when he was given more time. And he actually, I think, spoke 47 minutes.
It was like he had about 5 or 6 more minutes of airtime
than she did. And, of course, it was just more rambling stuff. And they also showed the percentages of how much they attacked each other versus talking about policies and things of that sort. And clearly his was all about attacking versus actually presenting any decent policies because he doesn't have anything. The fact-checking that they did, I have to say, was impressive. Now, of course, if you start to talk about anybody out there on the right, they only fact-checked him. They didn't fact-check her, which they did once. Not only that, but, clearly, because Lindsay is a sorority sister of her, which let's address that real quick. Yes, they are in the same sorority.
Oh, yeah, you brought that up.
They are in the same sorority. They went to different universities. They are 10 years difference in age. They never knew each other.
Okay, so I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, I did not. Why are you looking at me like that?
Because to the comment that I made about reading page 2, it's like you had made that comment in the car, right? So she's like, "Oh, did you know they're sorority sisters?" So I left the conversation with, "Holy fuck!" Like they're in cahoots, rather. It's not. No, it wasn't because of what. It's just real world shit of how we interact with each other, right? So Kara goes
bits and pieces.
Right. Kara goes, "Oh, they're sorority sisters." I didn't even ask the next.
I said they were part of the same sorority.
Yeah, right, but my takeaway was they sat next to each other and they said, "Hey, by the way, you should."
Okay, that's your fault, not mine.
No, it is my fault. It is,
and I can see
it's
how
ignorance on my
at the top
side.
of the surface, without doing research and the information, right, which is readily out there.
Well, isn't that how we got here? Isn't that?
Well, definitely so. But not only did they actually have 10 years apart, and then she went to the University of Virginia. Lindsay did, and she went to Howard University, is where Kamala went to. There are over 1,000 different chapters of that sorority in the United States.
Right.
But of course, the right's got to jump on that. Clearly, she was coached by ABC and Lindsay, and she had the answers, and they were actually prepping her before they got there because it was just too smooth. Well, sorry, guys. You actually have a seasoned prosecutor of 21 years and a vice presidential candidate 4 years ago who knows how to debate and knows how to do presentations.
But what question was asked during the debate that wasn't a normal debate question that people would have expected in the first place?
Yeah, but to your point that you just mentioned, the people out there watching on his side weren't even listening to those questions. They were just trying to see exactly if they can do a gotcha about her, and I don't know how they can basically say that he provided a ton of information about his policies and what he can do and what he has done, simply because he jumped around so much. He never had a connected sentence. Nothing was coherent. I mean, it was just, I don't know how anybody, including these educated political pundits, can have even the audacity to say.
I mean, the simplest thing is you can get under Trump's, get him off his game by just getting under his skin or whatever. And Kamala did it.
Yeah, but I think that...
and he took the bait. And it's like, what gets me is like, the Harris camp basically told the world what they were going to do before the debate.
Yeah, they actually presented her platform out there 48 hours before.
Well, they said they're going to try to get him to go off on a tangent or whatever.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
They said it beforehand, and he did it. He fell for it every single time.
I think it, even though she was a little bit nervous at the beginning of the debate, I think it was like 8 or 10 minutes that she was really, you could see it.
Yeah.
This was her very first major election debate. Now, yes, she had done debates as the AG and the district attorney. She had done some debates with Mike Pence back in 2020. But here she is for the biggest job, the most important job.
And she had the most to lose.
Yeah, and the leader of the free world. And this guy's debated 7 times. This was her first time on this type of stage. So naturally, it's going to be nervous. Anybody would.
Right.
And you did see that in the first 8 to 10 minutes. But what I will say, though, is she did take a high ground and control things from the get-go when she walked out there. And he was looking as quickly as he possibly could to get behind his podium. She crossed in front of her podium, straight to the back of his, and put her hand out and says, "I'm Kamala Harris." Because they'd never met, ever. That took him by surprise, of course. And, of course, he's just like, oh, good luck. So the fact that a black woman makes her way out there and takes command of the stage right away set him off.
Yeah.
So, of course, he's like, oh, shit, sweating bullets already, not knowing, okay, let me get my back on my feet here. I think, though, into the debate is when he was obviously a little bit shaky, but and he did okay for the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes as well. It's not coherent, but at least he had some sort of control over himself until she went after him for his rallies. And that just set him the fuck off because she basically said, she goes, listen, I'm going to actually do something here that's really unusual. I'm going to invite you to go to one of his rallies. And what you're going to see is he's going to talk about fictional characters like Hannibal Lecter. He's going to talk about windmills cause cancers. And what you will also see is people leaving his rallies early because they're bored.
It's like Cowboys fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, of course,
you ever see Packers fans leave early?
You see his lips start to pucker. And anytime he puckers, he's pissed or he's about to lie. It's just anybody who actually watches people, you can figure that out. That set him off because even though it was a legitimate question that they asked of him, he goes, let me address my rallies first.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it.
After that, he was yelling and screaming after that.
Sweat on the top of his lip. This guy was just nowhere. And I guarantee you, the people in his actual waiting room were like, oh, fuck. Because everything that they had told him not to do, he started to do.
Right.
And that's when he went on his tangent about all different types of things. And, well, Biden doesn't even like her. They're like a father-daughter thing. Seriously. Are you kidding me? It's just, you're just lunatic, So, Mike, what else you got on this stuff? Let's just take the whole...
Well, no, because you're on a roll. You haven't been sleeping, and you've been arguing with everybody. So it's like it's going to be hard for us to get a word in edgewise.
I have a question. So we're going to be in Vegas. This is related, I think. We're going to be in Vegas. Normally, when we drink together, we're at the pub. We're sitting down, right?
Oh, I'll have the camera there.
So what can we expect from drunk Rick? Oh God! So there's different types of drunks, right? There's happy, sad, like Josh.
Well,
when he got shit faced, he cried in the corner.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
If there are some Trump supporters and talking, he will go berserk. He will start arguing with them.
So is it safe or not safe to poke the bear?
You will argue with them.
I will. I don't take because I'm not like them. I will. This is where Michael. Let me finish this point. I've had the same argument with these people online when they're bashing certain individuals because of the endorsements and stuff like that. It's like, listen, if you can't have a civil conversation and allow people to do what is their American right, their citizen's right as an American citizen, as to endorse or vote whomever they want and talk civilly about it, then you're the problem. And if you can't present facts. So, anybody who's already bitching and griping about Trump or Kamala, I'm not going to jump into their conversation because simply it's not appropriate to be ugly with people in public. If they want to have an honest conversation.
Remember this.
I know.
Remember this.
They want to have an honest conversation or a debate that is civil. That's completely different.
Do they have a Trump store in Vegas?
They've got like little tchotchkes or whatever. They got weird shirts that you can only wear in Las Vegas if you were to wear it back at home.
Why the hell would I even remotely go into a Trump store?
They have a Trump. Let's go to the Trump Hotel and just take a picture.
No. The interesting thing about it, the resort group that we're actually staying with, they actually are. Trump is a part of that resort group. As a hell no.
Right.
You know, first of all, it was like $600 a night. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, and it doesn't even have a casino in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the name. It's the name.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, I mean, but the difference between I'm never a sad drunk. Never really a sad drunk. I am definitely an animated happy drunk.
Are you gonna get sleepy?
Well, as long as I'm drinking, I don't have the early drinking and then I have a lull. Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. Trust me. You know, I mean, that's why I told him I'm going to be sleeping on the plane. You know, I need that 2 hour solid sleep.
That's why I didn't opt in for the morning AM flight.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it depends on what happens tonight. I mean, I'm supposed to meet somebody because I'm selling some furniture and all that, and then I'm also supposed to do a happy hour. We'll see what happens tonight. You know?
Drink water tonight, man. Gatorade, hydrate. Vitamins in there.
Well, no, as long as I eat and I actually drink my Belvedere, I'm fine. Belvedere doesn't make me drunk, you know, at all. So.
But on the debate, I was nervous watching because there was a lot of pressure on Harris. Mm-hmm. I mean, because she had the most to lose. I mean, Trump is Trump, and you get what.
Well, she had the most to lose and gain.
Yeah, that's true too. But it's like Trump. Everything he did and all that stuff is.
Oh, by the way, guys, this is going to be a little bit longer than our 30 minutes. Trust me.
That's totally fine. Do I need to go get the bottle?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's in the
refrigerator. I'll be right back.
It's in the refrigerator. But I mean, watching it and just seeing her, you could see him just poking at him, and he just started taking it, and then he got so pissed off. And I mean, just visually, he was like looking at the moderators and no expression whatever the whole entire time. She would answer, look at the moderators, look in the camera, and then when he was talking, she would look at him.
He never looked at her. Never once looked at her. And of course, one point that he tried to do the play off what she did to Mike Pence back in 2020, and when she said, "Mr. Vice President, I'm talking." Well, he said that, you know, when she started talking, the mic was off, and he's like, I'm talking. Sound familiar? Dude, you look petty.
But do you think that what if none of it fucking matters because of the endorsements of Taylor Swift and others?
Well, we're going to get into that
right?
point
so, like,
there.
what if psychologically and like the human nature side, what if she's already won?
Well,
and
I mean,
it doesn't fucking matter the rest of this.
It's well,
is he not drinking?
It's rare.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't get any more.
Okay.
What? You didn't even? Wow.
Oh, I think we've got more out in the other fridge, right?
What?
In your other fridge?
What?
Sparkling
more
anything?
Sparkling? Yeah, I saw in there.
Okay.
There's some in
There's
there.
an outside fridge?
Yeah, there's a whole wine thing out there.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a whole nother fridge.
Yeah, if you go outside in the garage, around the corner.
There might be
from
another bottle in
there's
there.
a whole wine thing in there.
Is it Brut? Because he doesn't like Prosecco.
There's like several in there. I don't know what's in there.
Brut
Yeah.
or dry?
But to your point there,
What?
I wouldn't say I'm not ready to say that she's got it in the bag. Perfect last
I
No.
think
But I will say this about
social norms
Yeah.
are fucking
I mean, I will say
dramatic.
this.
The moment she's keeping the momentum going for
That's
her.
what she has to do. But she also but we can't get overly confident.
No.
That's what happened with Hillary Clinton's campaign in 2016.
I would agree with
She was ahead in the polls. Even still with the whole 2-week Comey thing that came out about her emails, she was still ahead in the polls, and every single poll was wrong. Although it was like 10,000 people here, 10,000 people here in this state and whatever in the swing states, she ended up losing the Electoral College, even though by 3 million she won the popular
Right.
vote. You know, by far, she will definitely win the popular vote. Every Democrat has won that since 2000. That is a given, since George W. Bush. You know, last one was 8 million against Trump by Biden. 3 million with Hillary. I mean, and Obama, of course, won them by a couple million here and there. And Al Gore even won the popular vote in 2000, even though he unfortunately lost in the Supreme Court. Go figure. But I mean, I usually have a real gut feeling, and I've had a gut feeling since 2000 on most of the actual elections, you know. And when I was working with my team in 2000, and we were pretty gung ho about Al Gore. He's a pretty boring candidate, mind you, when you actually look at Bill Clinton. But I also, you know, probably 3 months out, I said, well, yeah, I'm not going to be participating in your euphorium for Al Gore anymore. And they're like, why? I was like, because he's going to lose, and he's going to lose because of Florida. And they're like, oh, no. I was like, well, Jeb Bush runs Florida. I guarantee you he's going to lose there. And, of course, he did. You know, granted, it was the Supreme Court. Said the same thing about Obama.
But the vote, he didn't have the vote. They counted whatever all the votes after the fact.
Like 500 votes.
Well, but I know,
though.
but it's like Bush still won the state.
Can I ask a dumb question?
No, actually,
All your questions are dumb. Go right ahead.
Michael, Al Gore stopped the recount. In even though there was because of the Chads and shit like that, he said, you know what? No, really, because of he basically said, "I'm doing this for the country," which is another Biden thing.
But they still counted it after the fact.
Yeah, well, I don't. Yeah, well, anyways.
Okay, what's your dumb question?
What happened? Did I miss what happened when? Remember back when Trump ran last time, and they had all those people like the Comey. Or what was it, not Comey? Maybe they had like 8 different candidates or whatever. Was that already passed?
That was 2020. No, 2016.
Are we past that part
2016
in this election?
Yeah, that happened. That would have.
Those were the good old days back then. You remember those days where everyone was just making fun of each other.
Those started like at the end. Last year.
Yeah, those were fun.
But what happened?
Trump didn't participate in that.
No,
gotcha.
This go round, there was I don't know how many candidates that were actually on the field there. He refused.
Oh, okay.
This time to debate anybody in the primary. He automatically thought he was the leader.
Right. Well,
he was just like,
here we are.
I'm the incumbent. It's mine to take and not yours to. So, and hence there where you had some, animosity between him and Tulsi Gabbard,
right,
who now is like kissing his ass and all that, along with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. So, he pushed out is what it was.
Gotcha.
He didn't want to be called into stuff.
But for me, watching the debate, before the debate, for the last couple of days, you've always had pundits saying she needs to do this, she needs to do this, and everybody had different opinions or whatever. She should attack him big and all that other stuff is. The way she did the debate was flawless. I'm not saying it was perfect, but it was so flawless. You had to give her credit, her team credit for getting her prepared and all this other stuff.
She definitely executed right.
Because she needed to hit him with some zingers, and she did. And all the ones I thought she should do, she did it.
Yeah, no, the thing that she systematically did the process throughout. It wasn't like straight out the gate, boom, 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 boom. She had different ways of needling him, and she prosecuted the case.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And there's no doubt that she was coached on, this process. You talk about your record, because obviously going into the debate, one of her kind of like deficiencies was that more people needed to know more about her than him. 9% needed to know more about him, and 28% needed to know more about her. So her point was, this is my record. And she talked about how she was the only one on the stage who prosecuted for, the border security issue and fentanyl and human trafficking and all this other stuff and guns. So she put that out there. Then, of course, she would jump, especially on the immigration. She jumped on how he killed the immigration bill, which was the most conservative immigration bill in the entire history of the country. And Lanford, who actually was the lead mediator specifically for the Republicans, even yesterday admitted it was everything she said that it would put out there. 1,500 additional border patrol, additional people for asylum processing, more money for combating all these other things on the border. She was absolutely right. He had no argument. Of course, he didn't even say yes or no whether he did it. We all know he killed the border, and basically then she turned around and says, and all he wanted to do was kill it simply because he wanted to run on a problem versus solving a problem.
Gotcha.
Which is exactly true. So if this is the problem that I have with that candidate in particular. If normal people who have any remote common sense doesn't see that is a selfish thing. If you're sitting here bitching about people who are dying because of the fentanyl that's coming across the border, or you're bitching about immigrants who are coming across killing people, coming from prisons and insane asylums and all this other bullshit that you put up there, you might want to see that that's a selfish thing that he want to do, because that could have been eliminated ASAP.
But his whole campaign is he has to have somebody for people to hate on. That's how he gets people to divide and conquer. He has to get you to hate on something, so then that way you jump on his side because he will protect you. He's always been that way.
Well, let's be honest. Who he really wants you to hate is individuals who are not white, male, rich, and their families. It's that point blank. We sit here and we talk about this mass deportation of 20 million individuals, which, first of all, just the actual police force or the enforcement force to actually do that. And he said he's going to do it starting from day one. Now, I don't know how he's going to do that on top of making sure that he persecutes individuals who actually said he lost the 2020 election, who also was donors or individuals who were on the media and all that were against him during the 2024 election, because that's another whole police force, apparently. And we won't even talk about the courts, which he'll probably bypass because he'll change and do martial law or something along those lines. But, I mean, you're talking about the National Guard. You're talking about the police forces individually in the cities and the states and municipalities. Then you're talking about military as well, which, I mean, again, people out there, if you're not familiar with the Constitution, the United States military is not allowed to do anything on our homeland. Mm-hmm. He will actually bypass the Constitution or change it or, suspend it, whatever it is, in order to be able to do that. Let's just say he does that. He's not going to stop. And first of all, there's no criteria. He said that he will go door to door. What's the criteria of going door to door? What communities are you going to go straight into the actual predominantly immigrant communities, or black communities, or Hispanic communities, or Asian communities?
Right.
What's your criteria? No criteria whatsoever. I'm just going to do it. Okay, well, when you've all done that, what's stopping you from going against individuals who actually are not white men rich and their families? Mm-hmm. And he won't. I mean, obviously, I probably need to leave the country. I put my footprint out there enough that, I'm definitely on the list. That's for sure.
You say you've spread your seeds out there enough?
Oh, yeah.
From the moment he got on the stage in 2016.
And I definitely have my footprint out there. There's no doubt about it. But
take a breath for a second.
No, the other point that
actually take one.
Take a breath.
The other point that I want to stress specific on this mass
But take a breath. You just are on a whoa.
On this mass deportation is...
He's not even listening.
When all those individuals are deported...
You can sit next to me when you're in Vegas.
Who's going to do the jobs they did? Seriously.
Who's gonna? Not me. I don't know. I don't even mow my own fucking yard.
Who is going to be picking the fruit and the vegetables, and who's going to be cleaning the houses?
The tobacco leaves. That shit's hard.
Yeah, I mean, who's going to be actually?
Even making tequila is hard work. Have you ever seen how they make tequila? It's difficult. No. The agave, they have to grow the shit and fucking.
There's a whole process.
It's hard work.
Hence, that's why it's expensive. I think.
Yeah. Who's gonna mash our grapes for the wine?
Wow.
Why people?
Okay, sure it's a machine, but
overall, because let me just say a few words.
I told you to do that. You didn't step in.
Oh, please! Like I had a choice. You just go blah blah blah.
You
blah,
had
blah,
a choice.
I keep telling you, take a breath. Oh, I'm not gonna. I won't. I don't. And it's like so. All in all, the debate, I was very pleased with it. I thought she did an excellent job. I thought it showed a very difference between the two candidates. Mm-hmm. So it's like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. Everybody saw who the two candidates were and all that stuff is. I thought Kamala won. I think there were a lot of other people that thought it, but I don't think if you were a Trump fan before that, you're still a Trump fan. That did not change. That didn't change him. Right. If you're a Kamala, you're a stronger Kamala now.
Yeah.
And if you were leaning towards Kamala, I think that just pushed you more towards Kamala or whatever.
You say that.
Well,
but obviously they're trying to push out polls and saying the undecideds who were leaning towards her are now leaning towards him. Bullshit.
Well, but it's like Trump. I mean, Trump already said on one of the spin room or whatever, how he said the polls have come out now, and he says I've won 90-3 or 86-24 or
never in the history of
75
debates there's a percentage like that.
And so then it was just like, I mean, really and truly, come on. And the key is, if you want to know who actually you thought won the debate, you need to look at the people that are on the opposing side. So the people that are the people like on Fox News that are against Harris or whatever,
right,
or all the other stuff. You got to hear what they kind of say is. And even almost every Fox News reporter said how bad Trump did. I mean, these are pro-Trump people, and they were just saying how bad he did. I'm not talking.
When's his next opportunity?
Well, that's interesting. First of all, there was a set of 3 debates that were supposed to take place with Biden. Obviously, the one that Biden did horribly on. This one that just took place with Kamala, and there was supposed to be another one, I think, on the 24th or the 28th of this month. And, of course, coming out of the actual debate, he went naturally straight to the spin room, which candidates typically don't do unless they fucked up. And, of course, they're hitting her saying, well, Tulsi Gabbard said, well, she didn't even go to the spin room. It's like, well, she didn't have to. And what did she do instead? She went to a watch party and talked to voters. that sounds better for me.
That's cool.
So
in Pennsylvania, in this state that she needs that
she has to win. She
Right.
has to win. But he said, I won. Why do I need to do another debate? So he's already pussing out on it. And the interesting, they called him on it, basically saying, yes, we didn't agree to this September whatever debate, but we're more than willing to do one in October. Bring it on. They, of course, have not come back. So I don't think he'll ever do another debate with her. He was swept. She swept the stage with his ass, with his toupee.
And then after the debate, watching the different shows on the people talking about it or whatever, had it on MSNBC, and Rachel Maddow was talking to Tim Wall, the VP candidate for Harris or whatever, and they were talking, have this conversation, and then Rachel Maddow said, "Oh, I got to interrupt you a second. I got something here, and I need to read it
to me,
and it's just handed to me, and I need to read it. I want to get
read it in totality,
and I'm going to read it in its totality. Go ahead. You want to talk about it?" So,
well, I mean, of course, I'm a Swiftie. So I was on my pins and needles. I was on the edge of my seat because I'm like, okay, what's coming here? And of course, Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala and Tim Walz.
Okay.
And she basically...
He was licking at the mouth.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, he's like, you go, girl. And it was a really eloquently written statement that she put out there and she posted, where she says, listen, I watched the debate just like everybody else. And, I obviously, want to make sure that I researched and educated myself on the positions that every one of the candidates took. And I am paraphrasing here, so don't take me to the gospel of the word. She goes, but then she also mentions, she goes, I obviously became aware at one point here recently where there was a IE photograph that was actually presented on Trump's social media
over 10 million likes.
Platform indicating that I was endorsing him.
A lot of people like pussy. Cats.
Yeah. And she's like, obviously that talks about how IA concerns me, which definitely these deep fakes are obviously very concerning when you're actually imposing likeness images of individuals, especially who have influence. But then she went on to say that we definitely need obviously somebody who has the character and the stamina to be able to actually provide the rights for individuals, whether it be reproductive rights, whether it be LGBTQ rights, things of that sort. She complimented Tim Walz as well. But the best thing about it is she said, but you make your decision based upon what you research, what you basically educate yourself, and what's good for you and your family. Right. Which is the right way of putting it out there. And she obviously said, hey, here's the link to go out there and register if you haven't registered and you're of age of 18, and early voting. I always early vote myself, yada, yada. And then, of course, the best thing about it is how she signed it. And she signed it, childless cat lover or owner or whatever, something on those lines, which is obviously a dig against J.D. Vance, who thinks that childless women who just have cats is a problem in the country. And like Michael said, I mean, she's had 10 million plus likes, which of course the rioters had no idea, first of all, it was coming. They're saying, of course, oh, this was pre-planned. When he was down, they wanted to knock him down even more. Well, maybe. I hope it was that the case. It does happen to be several weeks earlier than when she actually did in 2020 to Biden too. And they're also like, well, she's going to lose half of her followers, which she's actually gained followers since. And it has been well over 2 million likes. In addition, when that was announced on all the national network and cable programs, there was a 300% spike in people searching on Google how to register to vote. So she definitely has the opportunity to move the needle. One way or the other, who knows? Maybe there'll be a backlash, and you'll see individuals on the other side, registering to vote as well, to vote for him, because why is this cat woman who's a billionaire? And that's the other thing; they're really hitting her hard. This is just another billionaire, elitist, and it's like you realize your candidate is a billionaire. I mean, you how you're differentiating between the two of them, So, the VMAs were last night. I don't know if anybody watched the VMAs.
Oh man, I haven't seen those since I was a long time ago. Who played live music?
Oh, there was Benson Boone, which is a great new artist out there. You actually had Sabrina. I mean, you had what's her name?
Would you guys go see Missy Elliott? No, really.
I would.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, but she typically brings others with her just simply because the way her format is. So it'd be interesting. And it's usually more of kind of mainstream people that she'd bring with her.
Is there even a headliner for Pink? I'm sorry, Pink is the headliner. Is there a second?
You mean a starter
Opener
or whatever?
yeah.
Opener, yeah. I don't know. There has to be.
No,
I would assume
there wasn't for Lady Gaga in Dallas.
I don't remember. It was a couple of years ago. Well, she was obviously at the VMAs. Mm-hmm. And again, this is when the right is just hitting her hard, saying that, she's going to lose her followers. She has no influence and yada, yada. Of course, by this time, she had the 10 million likes. She'd had the,
Can I play the sound of this?
Oh, totally. Go ahead.
All right. This is pure Rick.
We talked a little bit earlier about, these debates. Do they even mean anything? Do anything? Apparently, they did move the needle enough for one undecided voter. A Miss Taylor Swift has endorsed Kamala Harris. That's what happened. So you know what this means.
This is Rick coming up.
Taylor Swift and I were watching TV at the same program at the same time.
That was pure Rick.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I definitely just. I mean, Michael said next to me. I did a lot of hoo-hoo, that type stuff.
Where were you when you found out Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris? You know what I bought? Oh, check this out. I do have to show you this.
Is it related?
Yes. So,
Mine just.
Well, that's okay.
I'm going to try to tell this story very quick, but I collect silver coins.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Yeah, so my person.
He actually went to a conference about it one time.
Yeah. So my person.
A week-long
I don't get
conference
that.
in
Yeah.
Vegas.
I mean, talk about
this.
boring.
Look
That's
at this
why he
coin
joined.
I bought. So I bought a Kamala Harris, like duking it out with
Wow.
Trump coin.
Well, she's obviously in a superhero costume.
Yeah,
He's just in his typical blue suit.
Yo, so when I signed up for this, like less than a year ago, whatever, the people who signed me up, they had other Donald Trump coins.
Yeah,
and
he's all about his coins.
And I have since bought JFK coins. Those things have skyrocketed in value. I paid $45 for this. I cannot fucking wait in 3-4 months to see if it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's more geared towards positivity towards her. So if she actually does win the presidency, I would be not surprised if it does increase in value.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see that it.
Yeah.
That it increases.
Yeah, I mean, there
in
are
value.
definitely some AIs out there who actually put her in superhero costumes and stuff like that. Again, whether it's funny or not, I mean, it's obviously not something negative. That's for sure. I'm going to jump back on my Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Sorry,
we expected it.
There was
Yeah,
a
I mean,
squirrel ran past the table.
Obviously she obviously went to the VMAs.
Yeah.
Head hung high. She didn't give a damn what anybody said about whether she endorsed somebody or not. She's a 34-year-old independent woman, and she can make her own decisions. Who obviously created $1 billion company.
Right.
Good for her. And this is 24 hours, and during that process time, the VMAs have People Choice Awards that people can vote on.
Right.
She won. So clearly her endorsement did not hurt her with a younger generation of individuals. If they're 18 and older, they can vote.
Yeah.
There was an impact on there. And the best thing about it is she got on stage and she definitely, thanked who she needed to thank. She thanked the fans. She goes, this is obviously why I got it. This is why I do this for you. And she goes, and if you are 18 years of age, please register and vote. That in itself, she made that statement one time before at a concert, and they registered that night 35,000 individuals to register to vote. I mean, so she does have, which is, of course, is scaring the shit out of the right.
Right.
She does have the ability to move, whether it's a percentage of point or not. That's all we need because that's how tight this race is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the NFL's definitely doing more advertisement with her in it.
Well, that's the whole thing about it. We talked about this in one of the other podcasts when they were doing an advertisement and they showed her 5 times. The right was steaming. Oh, my God. And the guys on ESPN is like, get over it.
Yeah.
It's helping the NFL, you dumbasses. I mean, it's just, I don't understand. And I don't think it's just because she's liberal. I think it's because she's an independent, wealthy woman.
Yes, that came from nothing.
Yeah. I mean, she's done this. Well, she had
gave her a little bit of money.
Yeah, and her parents had money. There's no doubt about it. I mean, she wasn't piss poor.
Yeah, but whose parents haven't given a little money?
Yeah, exactly. exactly. You know, so I mean, there's the fascination to take down strong women. It just drives me absolutely nuts. And of course, as you know, my other nemesis out there.
Oh my God, here he comes again.
Elon Musk.
This part's boring.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You're going to mute his microphone?
No,
Just let him
just
talk?
put the crickets on.
No. It's not boring. He decided that when she endorsed that he wanted to respond to it. And he goes, okay, fine, Taylor, you win. I'll give you a baby.
I'm going to Boca Chica I think in November to watch one of his rockets go up.
Hopefully it goes up and down.
No, it's supposed to come up and down.
Implode. I'm saying implode. Implode when it's in the air. So basically, he said, you know, I will impregnate you for you. Now, of course, anybody who's seen him shirtless knows that he's just the most disgusting son of a bitch ever.
Impregnate him for you.
Yeah, basically it is.
Are you bringing your swimsuit tomorrow?
I don't know. I mean, I ain't gotten that far. I'm still looking for a dog sitter, remember? Maybe I'm not going. Who knows?
I thought I waited until last minute to do shit. I just bought my flight this morning.
Well, there you go. Everything's always last minute, whatever. So, of course, you know, we're all sitting here saying, well, will Travis make any response to it whatsoever? Because, I mean, it is a disgusting comment to put out there. You know, it's just like, I mean, you're just a sexist pig asshole. Let's be honest. That's what he is. And first of all, have you seen him shirtless? Nobody would want to fuck him. I mean, so of course, me being who I am, I obviously put a photograph of him shirtless and a photograph of Travis out there and said, yeah, Elon, I think she has better taste than you. You know, and clearly she does. And obviously, I was not the only person who caught on to that and started everybody else to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. Travis did respond to it from his official Twitter or his official Instagram account, basically saying, listen, I'm 6 foot, I'm a football player, and I would like squash you like a bug, you know. And again, I paraphrase there, not the exact words, but I mean, I think it's just great on how they are supporting each other. She obviously thanked him, and she says, listen, you know, he was there when I was doing this particular video, and the thing about my boyfriend is he always makes everything happy when he's around. You know, so it's a great couple. That's going to piss them off because immediately afterwards, they were all saying, oh, she'll never go to a game with Brittany Mahomes, which is actually Patrick Mahomes' wife, because she's a Trump supporter. They're fine. I mean, they're mature people who can actually get along and have a difference of opinion politically. And
then what did Trump say about when he?
Oh, I love Brittany Mahomes better because she loves Trump. Well, she hasn't said that. She just simply liked a couple of your posts.
Right.
I mean, I think it's her policies or a policy that you actually presented at that particular time.
Sounds like someone I know.
Patrick Mahomes obviously was questioned yesterday, saying, you know, well, and he goes, listen, I have a platform. I don't obviously put out there my political affiliations or who I'm going to vote for. I use my platform to say, listen, register and vote.
Right.
And that's the right thing to say. Caitlin Kane Clark said the same thing because she obviously liked Taylor Swift's posts about endorsing Kamala. She says, listen, I have a great platform. She goes, this is my second presidential election that I can vote in because I voted when I was 18. I'm 22. And she goes, all I say is educate, research, and register to vote, which is exactly what Taylor said. She just happened to say, this is who I'm voting for. I want to be transparent. And, of course, they're all just piling hell on her. You know, so it's just ridiculous.
Well, it just adds more fuel to the fire.
Well, but I also think it creates potential for violence.
That's been Trump's MO from day one.
Yeah.
But it's just like you have to, but it's just showing more and more people of what Trump is really like.
But if there's anybody out there that's pissed off at Taylor so much they want to get rid of their tickets for her final shows in Miami, I'll take them.
Yep.
I'll take them off your hand. I'll burn them for you if you think. You know, well worth it. That's for sure.
But it's like this election has come down to there's now 2 totally different choices to choose from.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And obviously they're going to pull out all stops at this stage simply because he did so miserably. And the interesting thing about it, you know, they always have sources within his campaign. Public, they're all saying that he won. You know, he hit a home run. He did this. You know, simply to his face because he is so ego-driven. Privately, they're talking to all their other individuals out there. It's like he fucked up.
Yeah.
I mean, even actually Lindsey Graham, which I thought was really surprising. He said his entire debate prep team needs to be fired. You know, and that was one of the bold statements. And of course, they always have this cantankerous relationship back and forth. I don't know what that is, but
well, there was one of his co-hosts said if you just take his answer to the first question and his closing statement, then he won.
Yeah, don't listen to anything else.
Don't listen to anything in between. But if you just did that and that, the beginning and the end, he won.
Which literally is 4 minutes out of the 47 or whatever minutes that he talked. So yeah, just listen to 4 minutes of him and then he wins. So I mean that's so interesting enough. That was a debate that it was very unique to American history and presidential politics. I think that we'll never see another debate between them. And all we can hope for is that it was good enough, and she continues the momentum and doesn't get too overly confident over the next 54 days.
I'm not so sure. There might be another debate. It just depends on what happens here. Because if everything's still going all Kamala and all that stuff is, Trump might try to do it just to try to change.
Well, what I will say is if they do it, I think they'll be a little bit better prepared because this time he basically blew it off and he let Tulsi Gabbard do some prep with him, which is like, yeah, stupid. First of all, you don't want that Russian agent helping you out. She hates Kamala.
But I mean, because Trump knows he would do better this next go around.
Of course, because he would try to stay, in his lane and not try to be baited by her. But I do think that she'd be just as aggressive.
Men versus females in the workplace. It's an interesting paradigm,
and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be. I think I'm pro. I've said it 1,000 times. I'm pro women in the workplace.
Absolutely.
I think they're smarter. I think they're less emotional. I actually think they're the opposite. I've said it before. I've had more problems with men in my organization.
I have seen in the workplace men gossip a whole hell of a lot more than women. It's like hey, get away from the water cooler and go back to work.
Right. And if you want to get word around more efficiently, tell a woman.
Yes. She's going to talk about facts.
Ooh, you're going to get slapped on that one.
No, but she's talking about the facts, though, so she'll get the word around.
The facts. That's
but 54 days left. We'll see exactly what transpires over those 54 days. She does have a better ground force out there. Mm-hmm. They actually eliminated a ton of theirs out there when they were running against Biden because they were overly confident.
The Republicans.
Yeah, the Republicans did. And they haven't, they want, well, first of all, they don't have the money to.
Right.
To get those people back on the ground and then educate them and train them and over the next.
Did I hear you say the Democrats got like $54 million after the debate?
In the first 17 hours, it was $55 million they raised, and right after the debate. So they're continuing to raise. I mean, she's already raised $750 million since she's been in the race. That doesn't include what she was handed off from the Biden campaign.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she is well ahead of it. She's obviously spending, probably 10 times in certain swing states like Pennsylvania and Michigan and even in North Carolina. I mean, she was spending, 30, 40 million. He's spending like 5.
Yeah.
So she just needs to continue that momentum. She needs to continue to mention that she is the underdog, even though a lot of people are saying that that's just a ploy. And hopefully, we'll see a good result come in November 5th. But I will say this is like, hey, people out there. Research, educate yourself. I'm not sitting here saying vote how I'm voting or have my opinions. I'm saying go out there and do what's best for you and your family.
Read page 6.
Just research it. Don't put out false facts. Don't put out there things that you saw on the social media or the rumors or the lies that you're out there just simply because you want click and likes and arguments and things of that sort. When I say I've been arguing online, I've been also literally posting the facts from government documents. I get that, but my point is just educate yourself.
But
research.
They don't care, and they're not going to. But one last note for me is, for the state of Texas, it's like we're going red or whatever, but it's kind of still purple or whatever. But Lynn Cheney has endorsed Colin Allred for Senate, the Democratic candidate.
And she's obviously said that she is going to hit some of these battlegrounds states as well.
So maybe we can get rid of Ted Cruz.
We need to get rid of Ted Cruz.
Ted Cruz is
lying Ted.
Yeah.
Well, and not only that, obviously, just 2 days ago, the day of the debate, Missouri Supreme Court put the abortion referendum back on the actual ballot as well. And obviously that's a red state. That could obviously drive the Democrats out and women who are even Republicans out to actually vote for that, which also has the potential of helping out not only the top of the ticket, but other individuals down the line. And that's good. We need to see more of that out there. And yes, Ted Cruz needs to go.
Yes.
But also, Scott and fucking Florida, too. It'd be nice to win Florida, North Carolina, and Texas, but we'll see.
All right. So you have any last-minute closing?
I do not.
Can we finally end this?
I am good. I've got it all out. little exhausted, but I'm good.
But don't worry. Probably in another week we'll have another one on the. He'll think it's a new politics stuff on the debate.
There's always going to be things about the debate, but also the campaign because it's ongoing. But I will say that you'll definitely get some outtakes of our Vegas trip as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm most looking forward to. So it's going to be epic as shit.
So we'll probably
anything's on the table.
We'll probably do the video and the audio together where we're splicing together, and we'll talk about it, and then we put the video out there, and we'll just have some fun with it.
Yeah,
but anyways, we appreciate you spending some time with us on Banter, Buddies and Banter, the Uncensored Podcast. I'm Rick.
I'm Michael.
I'm Alex.
I'm Kara.
I'm exhausted now.
I'm fired up. I'm gonna drink on the plane. I'm gonna stir shit up.
Just as long as I'm not blinded.